Divinely chosen. Unseen actions shook heaven, saved 3 angels, and left God astonished. In a quaint English village nestled among rolling hills, darkness brewed in Sarah's heart. Her 2 precious children lay ailing, their laughter silenced by the weight of sickness. Yet, through the shroud of despair, whispers of hope danced alongside her unwavering faith. St. Jude, her beloved patron saint, stood as an unwavering pillar in her life, embodying the promise of light in the darkest of hours. Each night, she knelt by their beds, fragile hands clasped tightly, sending prayerful whispers soaring into the heavens. One fateful afternoon, as rain pattered against her cottage roof, Sarah stumbled upon her late grandmother's Bible. Dust motes swirled in beams of sunlight as she turned yellowed pages, her heart racing. Suddenly, a passage gleamed with divine significance, words of an extraordinary destiny entwined with her family's faith legacy. It felt as if heaven itself shifted, igniting a flicker of hope deep within her weary soul. Amidst her trials, a sacred vigil began in the village, the sounds of fervent prayer rising like fragrant incense. Neighbors lit candles, their flickering flames dancing in the stillness. But as hope blossomed, doubt crept in. Whispers of skepticism echoed among a few townsfolk, tainting the peaceful gathering. Miracles don't just happen, one scoffed, their cynicism piercing the air heavier than a storm cloud. But faith had other plans. A band of spirited children, filled with pure love, embarked on a mission to honor Sarah's devotion. They spread acts of kindness, painting fences, and planting flowers in her garden, reminding the elders what it meant to believe. Their innocent laughter broke through the darkness, like sunlight piercing the mist. Just as fatigue began to weigh down the gathering, a tempest arose. Winds snarled fiercely around the church, rattling windows and shaking foundations. The somber assembly faced a storm from without and the turmoil within. This is it, Sarah thought, her heart pounding as the doctor's grim prognosis echoed in her mind, shattering her already fragile spirit. Lord, grant me clarity, she cried out amidst the chaos, her prayers morphing from soft whispers to anguished pleas, reaching up through the storm. And then, in a breathtaking moment, 3 shimmering guardian angels descended, their radiant forms aglow with an unearthly light. Gasps erupted from the congregation. People clasped their hands to their hearts in awe. The angels stood resplendent, filling the air with an indescribable peace, akin to the tranquil calm after the fiercest of storms. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As whispers of the divine encounter rippled through the villagers, doubt began to give way to wonder. Eyes glistened with belief, hearts softened in reverence. What if they were on the brink of a miracle? As dawn broke, faith ignited anew among the townsfolk, binding them together in sacred unity. But in the middle of this awakening, one question hung in the air: were they truly worthy to witness such divine workings? Would the seeds of doubt transform into a resilient faith, one that could weather the trials still to come? Sarah's heart raced, knowing that their story was far from over, and so many breathtaking chapters awaited. The village stirred with the first light of day, the sun's golden rays warming the damp earth as if to cradle the hopes kindled during the night. Sarah, still awash in wonder, rose with the dawn, her heart a whirlwind of gratitude and yearning. The sight of the 3 angels lingered in her mind, a promise fulfilled, yet shrouded in mystery. She stepped outside, the cool morning air filling her lungs as she breathed deeply, feeling invigorated by the energy of her fellow villagers gathering. The townsfolk, inspired by what they had witnessed, began to share stories of hope. One after another, their voices rose, entwining with the chirping of the morning birds. Love and faith spread through the crowd, igniting deeper connections. An old woman, once frail and withdrawn, stood tall, a calm determination lighting her eyes. If the angels have come, surely we can raise our spirits, too. Let us carry forth a spirit of hope. As they spoke, Sarah's children, still confined to their beds, found their mother's unyielding love echoing through the walls of their home. Drawn by the fervor outside, they turned to one another, sensing the lifting burden from their hearts. "Mama," whispered little Anna, her voice fragile yet filled with the spark of curiosity. "Will the angels help us, too?" Sarah felt tears prick her eyes but fashioned them into radiant joy. "Sweetheart, they are already here with us. You just have to believe." Each word stoked a flame of hope within her children. What they couldn't see yet, they could feel the divine presence, a warmth that enveloped them. Back at the village square, a banner was unfurled. "Faith can move mountains." The inscribed words glimmered in the sunlight, a rallying cry resounding from them. Energized spirits danced among the crowd, and laughter broke through the heaviness that once shrouded their hearts. Yet still, lurking like shadows, were a few faces marred by doubt, unable to reconcile the miraculous with their experience. "What if this ends in disappointment?" one man murmured to his friend, casting wary eyes towards the cheering throng. The friend shook his head with fervent disbelief. "Sometimes, my brother, it is in our doubts that we find our greatest test of faith." With each act of kindness, with each smile shared, the village pulsed with life, a heartbeat reborn in faith. Sarah, though burdened by the weight of her children's illness, felt the tendrils of strength wrapped around her. She knew a battle lay ahead, one that would require unwavering belief of the soul. As faith burgeoned and despair wilted, whispers of the miraculous stretched beyond the hills, reaching distant lands. Stories spread of the angels, tales of hope forged anew. Yet for every light, there were flickers of skepticism trying to intertwine themselves into the fabric of belief. That night, Sarah gathered the villagers for a communion of prayer, candlelight shimmering against the twilight sky. "We are here, united in faith," she urged, "not just for ourselves, but for those whose hope has dimmed. Together we can be the light." The prayers rolled off their lips like sweet incense rising towards the heavens, each plea weaving a shared tapestry of yearning and trust. But as the candles tossed shadows around them, and the night wrapped its arms tightly around the gathering, something stirred within the darkness. A hushed voice echoed in Sarah's heart, reminding her of the weight of her unspoken fears. Could faith truly transform the darkness into light? And if so, what must she learn before a gust of wind swept through, extinguishing some candles and rustling the villagers' cloaks? The gentle clamor faded into an expectant silence, leaving their hearts pounding with a weighty question. What awaited them at dawn? As the first rays of sunlight broke through the horizon, a golden warmth enveloped the village. Shadows danced behind the trees and the air felt charged with anticipation. The villagers, still swayed by the night's events, gathered again, eyes glistening with an otherworldly light. Sarah's heart beat feverishly within her, a reminder of the burden she carried for her children. Today was a sacred day, a moment holding promises yet to unfold. "We must not wait," she encouraged, gathering the villagers with steadfast hope. "Let us venture forth into the meadows, where we can lift our voices higher, closer to the heavens." A murmur of agreement spread through the crowd. Each footstep echoed with purpose, leading them to the lush fields just outside the village. Wildflowers swayed under the soft caress of the breeze, as if nature itself responded to their faith. As they reached the edge of the meadow, Sarah felt an unexplainable stirring in her spirit. She could sense the very air vibrate with sacred connection. "Let us sing," she exclaimed, raising her arms to the sky. And with that, a melody erupted, a spontaneous chorus of worship. Notes intertwined with the chirping of birds, rising above the treetops. The song wrapped around them, enveloping all in a profound embrace of peace. Tears flowed freely as they harmonized, their voices rising toward the heavens, each note piercing the barriers between earth and divine. Among them, Sarah's children stirred in their beds, the sound of their mother's voice echoing in their dreams. The warmth of hope washed over them, a power they had been craving. "When will we join them?" little Jacob murmured, his tiny hands clutching the bedpost, uncertainty mixed with a flicker of belief. Anna, sensing his restlessness, whispered, "We'll join them soon. The angels will guide us." Back in the meadow, the villagers swayed in worship. Yet, amid the collective joy, a silence swept over them like a veil. Eyes closed, hearts open, they sensed a shift in the atmosphere. It felt as if time paused, each breath weighed with significance. Sarah sensed it too, a divine presence within the hush, a calling deeper than anything she had ever known. "What is this?" someone whispered, eyes wide, searching the faces around them. "Can you feel it?" Sarah murmured, her voice barely audible, yet charged with an electric conviction. "It's the breath of heaven. It's here with us. The angels. They are among us right now." Suddenly, a gentle wind rustled through the crowd. It was neither cold nor warm. It carried a sensation of being cradled, as love poured over them in waves. In that sacred moment, each villager felt their fears dissipate into nothingness, washed away by this indescribable grace. But even in that sacred space of communion, doubts loomed. Some hearts were not yet ready to embrace the full weight of faith. A voice pierced through the crowd, shaky but determined. "Is there truly hope for our future? What if the angels leave us as they came?" "Hope isn't about guarantees," Sarah replied, her voice steady and unwavering. "It's about trust. Trust that even in our waiting, even in our struggles, God is crafting our story. We are chosen for His purpose." The challenge hung in the air, heavy with implications. Would they boldly overcome? Just as their hearts began to stir with renewed conviction, a flash of light, soft yet undeniably present, flickered at the far edge of the meadow. Gasps swept through the crowd like wildfire. Their eyes widened, drawn toward the glow that transcended earthly understanding. "What is that?" someone gasped as the villagers watched in awe. A brilliant light began to spread across the field, illuminating everything in a captivating glow. With bated breath, they realized this was just the beginning. What did the light mean? What miracles could come with such a divine presence? Sarah's heart raced. There was a deeper purpose here, yet unseen, ready to break forth. "Stay with me," Sarah urged. "Together we will witness the glory of the Lord." But what awaited humanity's fragile hearts was still unknown. Would they be able to accept the unfolding of His grand design? The questions lingered, leaving them balancing on the precipice of faith and wonder. As the villagers stood transfixed, the light pulsing gently, something began to shimmer within its confines. Shapes, vague but growing clearer, started to emerge from the brilliance. Gasps turned into whispers, breaths caught in throats as the realization dawned upon them. They were witnessing an unfolding divine revelation. I see wings," a villager exclaimed, his voice trembling with a mix of awe and fear. The description opened a floodgate of emotions, with hearts racing and spirits lifting to skyward heights. Sarah felt the grip of her resolve firm, her faith entwined within the vibrant light. "This is our moment," she declared. "Look how the angels are sent to cradle us in our doubt. We are not forsaken." Encouraged by her words, the villagers pressed closer, eyes wide with wonder, their collective heartbeat creating a rhythm, a symphony stirred by unseen hands. The celestial illumination brightened, bathing them in a cocoon of warmth and affection. And then, among them, she spotted 3 figures descending gently from the light angels, ethereal and radiant. They floated just above the earth, their expressions serene yet powerfully inviting. Echoes of laughter, the laughter of joy, filled the air, a sound so familiar and yet foreign, like a long-lost melody rediscovered. In that moment, the wind whispered secrets of the heavens. Sarah closed her eyes, allowing her spirit to reach beyond the mundane, sailing toward the vast and immeasurable love unfurling around her. "What do they desire?" A voice broke through. One of the elders stood trembling, grappling with the magnitude of the sight before them. "What message do they bring?" "Listen," Sarah encouraged, sensing a divine pull. "In silence they will tell us." As the villagers quieted, A profound hush seeped into the grove. Waves of energy surged, synchronizing with the rhythm of their hearts. Suddenly, the air shimmered again, and the lead angel stepped forward, his glistening wings unfurling wide. His voice, soft yet resonant like a gentle rain, broke through their silence. Children of Earth, hope has not abandoned you. In your darkest hours, remember that divine love weaves faith into your very fabric. The path is set for your deliverance. He paused, gazing fiercely at each face before him, instilling courage. In your hands lie the keys to the future. Speak love, act compassion, and know the angels are ever near to guide you. Trust, dear souls, in the unfolding. As his words sank into their hearts, the villagers swayed gently as if caught in unison. Hope surged through them, a torrent of light washing away lingering doubts. Will we heed their call? The elder asked, his gaze shifting to the faces arrayed before him. The crowd began to murmur in agreement, voices rising as one. Yes, yes, we will trust. And through this collective act of faith, a silence rang out, filled with promise. Sarah could feel the mighty shift within each villager. Desperation transformed into determination, dread into hope. But just as revelation sparkled in the air, the angel raised his hand, a sign for their attention once more. You must also be ready for the trials to come. Each step will challenge you, and not all paths will be smooth. Yet, remember, even in struggle, we stand beside you. A chill ran through the crowd. The reality of faith was dawning upon them. Would they remain steadfast, even when faced with adversity? Suddenly, another flicker of brilliance erupted. This time a cascade of colors dancing through the meadow. The villagers beheld an abundance of shimmering notes, swirling urids lifting golden leaves toward the heavens. It was an invitation, a call to action, promising deeper connection and understanding. Go forth in love, the angels proclaimed before retreating back into the luminous embrace of the light. The glow began to fade, but the energy lingered, igniting hearts with unrivaled fervor. Sarah's pulse quickened, her spirit soaring. Together, we will rise as one. We will show the world his grace. Yet, shadows loomed as they ventured forward. What would their journey demand? Of them, what trials awaited in their embrace of faith? The echo of unanswered questions lingered in the air, sparking an urgency in their spirit as they sought to venture deeper into the mysteries of divine purpose awaiting them. The village buzzed with a hopeful anticipation as the radiant glow faded into twilight. Yet, an electric energy coursed through their souls, igniting a fresh resolve. Sarah stood at the forefront, emboldened and inspired to rally her neighbors. Let us gather, she urged, her eyes shining with determination. We must share this light. We can be the change. God has brushed us with his love. The villagers nodded, each one feeling that invisible thread of unity pulling them closer together. Words of encouragement flew between them, weaving a tapestry of faith and courage. But underneath that vibrant surface lay a quiet fear. What lay ahead? What trials awaited their newfound path? The elder, still processing the experience, addressed the group. Fear not, for we shall stand together. The trials, though daunting, will fortify our spirits. We shall support each other through the valleys and up the mountains. As dusk settled, lanterns flickered on. The warm glow illuminated earnest faces, their souls aglow with shared purpose. They started to form a circle, hands clasped together, creating a bond tighter than ever. Let our prayers rise like incense, Sarah urged, her voice gentle yet fervent. Together they raised their voices, intermingling words of hope, healing, and love. Each fervent prayer ascended, mingling with the stars overhead, carrying their hopes into the infinite embrace of the divine. Suddenly, a soft breeze brushed through the circle, carrying with it the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers, a tangible sign of the heavens' approval. Murmurs of awe spread as they felt the divine presence almost visible in the air around them. Do you sense it? A young boy whispered, his wide eyes reflecting the glow of lanterns. It's like something special is happening. Yes, Sarah replied, smiling brightly, God's love is with us. We are being prepared for something beyond what we know. In the heart of the village, an elderly woman spoke, her frail voice rising above the whispers. We have long suffered and struggled. We've felt lost and alone. But now we are guided. Let us not forget this moment. We have been chosen to carry forth His love. Their collective hope burgeoned into unwavering faith. Sarah felt the swell of courage within her, urging her to take that first step. Let us venture out into the world. Let us share the hope within us. We will see the different faces of love and bear witness to His miracles. Encouraged, the villagers nodded, eyes sparkling with newfound determination. Together, they set forth into the night, hearts beating as one. A united force fueled by their shared faith as they walked. The night air shimmered, seemingly alive with the promise of what lay ahead. They began to share stories, to listen to one another's dreams, and share the burdens they had carried alone for so long. In this communion, they discovered strength they never knew existed. But as joy enveloped them, shadows flickered at the corners of their hearts. What awaited beyond their village? Would the world embrace their light? Would their faith withstand the tests ahead? Sarah, sensing the collective tension, turned to her companions. As we step beyond our horizon, remember this truth. Love is a force like none other, can break barriers. It will light our way. No matter what we face, we shall prevail if we hold onto our faith. Fleeting doubts danced at the edges of the villagers' thoughts, yet resolve anchored them. They stepped deeper into the night, the promise of dawn, not just a change in light, but a transformation of spirit. As the stars twinkled overhead, casting blessings upon the earth, an unexpected sound echoed through the air, a celestial melody, wrapping around them like a warm embrace. It felt as if the very heavens were rejoicing with them, whispering sweet reminders of their divine connection. And just as they embraced their newfound path, a distant rumble startled the group. Was it thunder? Or perhaps something more? With hearts racing and breaths held, they paused, sensing the weight of divine mystery unfolding. What awaited them? Around the next corner? Would their unyielding faith illuminate their way, even when darkness loomed? The answers may come with the dawn, yet they were filled with expectancy, courage, and divine purpose. What would this journey reveal? The rumble grew louder, a resonance that vibrated deep within their chests. Villagers glanced uneasily at one another, their hands tightening in the circle. It was as if the earth itself was awakening, echoing their heart's anticipation. "What is that sound?" whispered a woman, clutching her child closer. "I don't know," Sarah replied slowly, her heart racing. "But let us not fear. We have love to guide us." Emboldened by her words, the group pressed forward, drawn toward the source of the noise. Each step felt heavier but filled with purpose. They had come together in love, and that love braided through their fears and doubts like a sturdy vine. Just then, a brilliant flash lit up the night sky, illuminating the path ahead. The light was dazzling yet warm, casting gentle shadows that danced in harmony with their collective faith. Gasps erupted from the villagers as they shielded their eyes. But instead of danger, what they felt was a wave of peace, the kind of peace that welcomed the dawn after a long night. "Look," called out a young girl, pointing excitedly. "What is that?" Sarah squinted through the luminescence, an overwhelming sense of awe flooding her being. In the center of the light, figures began to emerge, 3 luminous angels, their wings unfurled as if embracing the village with divine openness. Fear melted away as the villagers fell to their knees, united in worship. The angels hovered gracefully, their presence exuding a fragrance far sweeter than the blooms of the earlier breeze. The air hummed with heavenly melodies, cradling them in gentle reverence. "People of faith," one of the angels called out, their voice melodic and strong, piercing through the quiet of the night. "Your dedication is witnessed beyond the skies. God has heard your prayers, your hopes, and your cries. Know that you are never alone. Through your love, barriers have been shattered, and paths have opened." The villagers exchanged astonished glances, their hearts swelling with gratitude for being so deeply seen. In that moment, They could feel the angel's divine power, wrapping around them like a comforting cloak. The second angel stepped forward, radiant and wise. Your journey has only just begun. Trials await, yes, but so too does enlightenment and transformation. Embrace what is coming, for it is part of God's greater tapestry woven through your destinies. Sarah felt the revelation fill her heart. This wasn't just about them anymore. It was about a wider purpose, a love that extended far beyond their village, touching the lives of many they had yet to meet. Our strength shall be renewed, she proclaimed, emboldened by the heavenly presence surrounding them. We are being sent forth as vessels of His grace, shining His light into the darkest corners. And as the third angel spoke, their voice resonated like thunder, yet wrapped in velvet softness. With each step of faith you take, each act of love, you will change lives. Remember this moment. Feel the hope that has sprung forth like the morning sun. This is but a taste of your extraordinary mission. An overwhelming warmth enveloped the villagers, as if the embrace of the divine wrapped around their souls. Hope soared, igniting a passion within them. They looked at each other, renewed determination igniting their spirits, eyes sparkling with divine inspiration. Let us go, Sarah cried, raising her hands high. We have been chosen for a glorious purpose. But before they could take another step, the rattling crescendo returned, growing fainter this time, but still palpable. The angels began to ascend, their luminous wings caught in the ethereal glow of starlight. And as they faded into the night, a longing settled in the air. The villagers stood in awe, breath held tight, hearts pounding in unison. A weighty mystery loomed just beyond the horizon. With each moment ticking away, they were left wondering, what greater depths of faith and challenges lay ahead? What would they need to face to fulfill this divine calling? The journey had only begun, and as dawn approached, flickers of destiny awaited them just beyond. The veil of uncertainty, as the last remnants of the angel's light faded, a hush settled over the village. The world around them felt different now, infused with a newfound energy. It was as if the very air shimmered with possibility. Sarah looked around. The villagers, kneeling in reverence only moments before, slowly began to rise. Their expressions transformed from bewilderment to steely resolve. We have been chosen, Sarah repeated, her voice steady, echoing through the stillness. Let us not waste this gift. Our love is the key, and with that, we can face whatever comes next. One man stepped forward, his brow furrowed. But what must we do? How do we begin this journey? Together we must seek understanding, a woman replied, her voice trembling with excitement. We must pray to uncover God's will for us. Each of us has a part to play. Nods of agreement rippled through the group. They formed a circle once more, hands clasped as they bowed their heads. Sarah led them in prayer, her heart aflame with fervor. O Lord, guide our steps. Reveal to us the path you desire for us. Let us be vessels of your love, sharing your light with the world. As they prayed, a gentle breeze swept through the village, rustling leaves and making the very ground beneath them hum with life. Sarah opened her eyes to see the villagers around her illuminated not by light, but by faith. Their faces, once shadowed by uncertainty, shone with hope. Suddenly, the ground trembled again, but this time, it felt different. It carried a message, a call to action. When the tremor ceased, a figure appeared on the edge of the village, cloaked in the morning mist. Who goes there? Someone called out, gazing into the fog. The figure stepped forward, revealing an elderly man, his robes tattered yet radiant. He wore a kind smile, framed by a long white beard that caught the light like silver thread. Fear not, noble hearts. I am a messenger sent to guide you. The villagers exchanged curious glances. Why are you here? Sarah stepped closer, her heart racing with anticipation. The angel spoke of your sacred purpose. The messenger began, his voice soothing like warm honey. Your village stands at the crossroads of a great awakening. Dark forces are stirring, but your love can illuminate the shadows. You must journey forth to spread hope and healing wherever you tread. Where shall we go? a young woman asked, her voice full of wonder. First, seek the old oak at the communion point. It holds the first clue to your mission. What you find there will give you strength to confront what lies ahead. With that, the messenger turned, gesturing for them to follow. The villagers, filled with both excitement and trepidation, fell in line behind him. As they set off, each step felt like shedding the weight of their past fears, replaced with purpose and devotion. The journey led them through wildflower fields that swayed gently in the breeze, colors bursting forth like a divine palette. Along the way, they recounted stories of their struggles and joys, each tale weaving them closer together. Remember what the angel said, Sarah encouraged them. Every act of love matters, no matter how small. Together, we can change our corner of the world. As they approached the ancient oak, a sense of reverence washed over them. Gnarled roots twisted deep into the earth, an emblem of strength and endurance. Shadows danced beneath its vast branches, and whispers of the wind sounded like echoes of prayers. But as they gathered around, a strange energy rippled through the air. The leaves rustled, and a low rumble swept through the ground again. Stronger this time, a reminder of the unseen forces at play. What awaited them beneath the mighty oak? Would they discover the message meant to guide them, or would they be faced with challenges that tested their faith and unity? They held their breath, waiting for the next chapter of their journey to unfold. The villagers gathered close, their breaths mingled with the rustling leaves. The air felt thick with expectancy. Sarah took a step forward, her heart a mix of determination and trepidation. Whatever comes, we will face it together, she whispered to herself, as much as to those around her. Suddenly, from the trunk of the great oak, a soft golden light began to emanate. It pulsed gently, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Gasps echoed among the villagers, and Sarah felt an inexplicable pull toward that radiant glow. What is this? A voice piped up, tinged with awe. Let us find out, she encouraged, taking another brave step forward. The group followed, their hearts synchronized in a rhythm of trust as they approached. A shimmering patch of earth revealed intricate markings, runes that danced in and out of focus. Each letter seemed alive, shifting with purpose. Look, a young boy exclaimed. It's writing. The runes shone brighter when one of the villagers reached out to touch them, igniting a series of images in the air. Old battles fought in darkness, families torn apart by despair, and finally, moments of love that reconciled those lost. Each scene played out like a vivid dream, enveloping them in history, teaching them of the resilience of love amidst turmoil. This is our story, Sarah murmured, tears welling up in her eyes. A story woven with struggle and hope. It's not just our story, another woman spoke, shaking her head in disbelief. It's a call to remember that no matter how dark it gets, our love can break through. We were chosen to be the light. The glowing runes began to shift, forming letters that intertwined with Sarah's vision, spelling out a verse that resonated deep within her heart. You shall be a beacon unto the nations, let your love shine forth, for it shall heal the broken-hearted. A wave of warmth surged through the villagers, igniting a sense of purpose and belonging. They clasped hands, forming a circle under the ancient oak. We will carry this message, they declared in unison, their voices rising to meet the whispering leaves. Suddenly, shadowy figures began to emerge from beyond the tree, dark and foreboding but held back as if being gently pushed away by an unseen force. A collective shudder coursed through the group, but Sarah, emboldened, raised her chin defiantly. They can't take our light. Not now. The messenger returned, appearing from the other side of the oak, his gaze firm and unwavering. Yes, dear ones, what you feel is the challenge ahead. But know this, every ounce of love you share will extinguish their shadows. Then what must we do? Another villager shouted, determination written all over his face. Each of you must embark on your own journey, he replied, to spread kindness, to heal wounds, and to illuminate the dark corners of the world. Only when you truly understand your own strength will you rise together against what threatens you. The villagers exchanged looks filled with urgency and understanding, their hearts ignited with purpose. In love we will fight, In unity, we will thrive, they chanted, their voices a powerful echo of truth as the light from the oak began to fade. Sarah held firm, whispering a silent prayer, feeling the weight of their mission settle deep within her. We are ready. But just as they prepared to set forth, the ground shook beneath them. It was stronger, more violent than before, and the whispers transformed into calls of desperation. What dangers waited beyond the village? What tests would refine their faith and unity? It was time to answer the call to action. The journey was just beginning, and their hearts were set ablaze with love and resolve. What awaited them in the great unknown? How would they wield the gift of their chosen status? Each footfall echoed the inception of a new chapter, a narrative woven in divine purpose. They were the illumination, the promise of change. Would they rise to fulfill it, or would shadows overwhelm their light? The earth trembled under their feet, sending ripples of uncertainty through the gathered villagers. Sarah felt the vibrations course through her, igniting a blend of fear and exhilaration. The presence of the shadowy figures intensified, but deep within, a voice whispered hope. We move forward, Sarah declared, her voice cutting through the growing tension. Fear will not guide us. Love will. Around her, the villagers nodded, their eyes reflecting the determination to press on. They had felt the warmth of the oak's light, and it was enough to cast shadows away. Building upon that bond, they began to visualize their path, a path brimming with compassion and devotion, ready to confront whatever lay ahead as they stepped into the deeper woods. The trees loomed tall, casting elongated shadows on the path. The air shifted. A cool breeze washed over them, carrying whispers, sinister murmurs, yet intertwined with the soft sound of hope. Keep your hearts open, the messenger had said. Your love is your armor. Those words wrapped around Sarah like a soft blanket, urging her onward. Each footfall resonated with intent. Castles of doubt began to crumble in their minds as every step was filled with purpose. A child's laughter broke through the solemnity, a reminder of innocence and joy. One by one, they shared stories of kindness, of love past, and dreams for tomorrow. What if we face something insurmountable? A voice quivered from the back. It was the timid farmer's son, his eyes wide with anxiety. Sarah paused, facing the boy. What if we do? She replied softly, kneeling to meet his gaze. What if our love is the very thing that brings the impossible to our embrace? His small face brightened, and she sensed his spirit lifting, a flicker of light igniting within him. As they ventured deeper, an unsettling quiet fell upon them. The trees appeared to shift, their branches twisting in unnatural ways, as if warning them of the trials ahead. Sarah felt a chill dance along her spine, yet something more powerful burned inside her, a longing to shine through the encroaching darkness. Suddenly, the shadows converged, pressing in like an army of despair. Faces formed within the dark, a tempest of anguish and despair. Step back, a voice hissed, dripping with malice. Your light cannot reach here. Surrender. Yet, Sarah stood firm, recalling the moments of love they had shared, the prayers woven into their collective spirit. No, we do not surrender, she shouted, her voice ringing clear like a bell. We shine on. With that proclamation, a warm light erupted from their hands, cascading outwards. Every heart beat in unison, creating a radiant beacon that pushed back against the shadows. Whispers of love filled the void, and before them lay a path illuminated by their very faith. As the ominous figures shifted and recoiled, the villagers raised their palms, channeling every ounce of love and courage. Sarah felt it fill her chest, coursing through her veins like fire. In that moment, she realized, within every struggle was the opportunity for divine revelation. They were not just fighting against darkness. They were bringing forth light. Yet, as the shadows trembled, a greater darkness emerged from the depths, taking shape amidst the fading gloom. This presence was different, more powerful, its sinister laugh echoing and reverberating through the woods. Do you think your little light can extinguish me? It mocked, shrouded in swirling darkness. The villagers united, their breaths steadying, determined to face this mightiest foe. This darkness held secrets, and Sarah sensed that the greatest test of their faith was only just beginning. What deeper truths will we uncover? She whispered to herself, heart racing, even as she stood ready to confront the shadow. Would they withstand the trials that awaited them, or would the flicker of their love be snuffed out? The air thickened. Facing the unmistakable weight of a profound challenge, they prepared for the battle of their lives. Hope lingered in the air, but the path ahead was destined to reshape everything they thought they knew. What sacred revelations awaited them beyond the lurking darkness? As dawn's first light broke over the horizon, illuminating the village, Sarah stood resolute. The villagers huddled close, their hearts entwined in a tapestry of courage and faith. In that moment, as the shadows danced at the fringes, they knew they were on the brink of the sacred confrontation that would either fortify or erode their resolve. The darkness ahead pulsed with an ancient malice, mocking their flickering faith. Your light is but a candle in a tempest, it sneered, each word a venomous strike against their burgeoning hope. Yet, Sarah's heart thrummed with an insatiable fire, ignited by the divine encounters they had shared. She raised her voice, unwavering, filled with passion. We do not stand alone. Our love shall pierce through this darkness. A swell of agreement rippled through the gathered villagers, a collective breath taken just before the storm. With hands clasped tightly and heads held high, they formed a circle, a barrier of love intertwining like a net of divine strength. In their hearts, they clung to the faith that had brought forth angels, that had transformed their despair into hope. Let us sing, Sarah declared, gathering strength from the depths of her soul. Let the music of our hearts drown out this darkness. With renewed energy, they began to chant a hymn, a melody that transcended mere words, a hymn of hope and redemption. Each note soared higher, spiraling into the heavens, fueled by the tears they had shed and the prayers they had uttered as the celestial sound enveloped them. The shadows began to waver, flickering like candlelight in a gale. The dark figure loomed heavier, but even it couldn't ignore the symphony of divine love emanating from the villagers. Silence, it roared, dripping with bitterness. You think your faith can change the course of fate? I am the end, the despair that lingers. But Sarah knew despair was not an end. It was merely a shadow that craved the light. You cannot suffocate what is already alive, she shouted, emboldened, echoing the battle cries of the angels who had visited them. Each path journeyed with love sprouts seeds of hope. We will fight. With one fierce breath, she stepped forth, tossing aside the weight of fear, and strode directly towards the darkness that swathed them. In that instant, the villagers followed suit, breaking the circle and advancing as one, fueled by love and conviction as they pushed ahead. The air crackled, a shimmering energy intertwining with their souls. Sarah felt it, a transcendent peace that anchored her spirit, a promise wrapped in each pulse of her heart. She imagined every smile shared, every hand held, every laugh heard. The light of their unity shone brighter, brushing against the shadows, illuminating the path ahead. Suddenly, the darkness thrashed, contorting under the weight of love and the melodies of hope. You are nothing, it hissed. You are weak. But the villagers countered in unison, their voices bigger than fear, stronger than despair. We are love. We are strength. We choose faith. In that moment, the air shimmered. There was a crack, a reverberation that echoed throughout the meadow. From the fissures of darkness emerged rays of brilliant light, golden streaks unraveling like threads of hope, stitching together their fractured dreams. This was not merely their battle. It was a cosmic dance of light meeting shadow in fervent harmony. They pressed on, a kaleidoscope of voices, hearts charged with purpose surging forth. The shadows convulsed, and in that split second, everything shifted. The darkness began to recede, shriveling under the power of their collective heartbeats. With every note, every prayer, they knit an unbreakable tapestry of faith. Be gone, Sarah shouted, for she saw the cords of strength binding them together. You have no power here. The darkness quivered, its form unraveling, dissolving under the warmth of their unwavering spirit. With one final wail, it dissipated into the ether, leaving behind a silence so profound. The villagers could only breathe in the sense of triumph as they blinked at the light that illuminated their surroundings. A celestial calm enveloped them. The air sparkled with divine energy, resonating with the benedictions of the morning. Around them, the village stood anew, bathed in golden light, and the slivers of joy felt tangibly real, breathless. Sarah turned to her fellow villagers, her heart brimming with gratitude. "Look at what we have done. We have faced the darkness together, and now we shall be the light that guides others through their trials." Elated laughter spread through the crowd, voices rising like an anthem of celebration. The once war-weary villagers embraced, their hearts intertwined, bursting with the joy of revelation. They had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, bound by the divine purpose woven into their very souls. With promise-laden hearts, they wondered what lay ahead. No longer would they dwell in despair. Their paths were now illuminated by the shared strength of their faith and love. Each step they took forward would be an act of service, a testament to the glorious purpose bestowed upon them that day. "Let us carry this light beyond our village," Sarah urged, her voice steady and filled with fervor. "Together, we will heal the broken-hearted, whisper hope into troubled souls. We are the messengers of Goddess love." And so, arm in arm, the villagers strode forth into the vast unknown, ready to shine their light, ready to embrace the many sacred possibilities before them. This was their divine commission, not just a story, but a legacy rooted in love, a mission that would echo through eternity as a reminder of faith's unimaginable power. Remember, dear friends, the journey of faith does not end here. You need to subscribe now to witness the unfolding of even more incredible stories that shine the light of God into the world. Don't hesitate. Leave a like now to help the algorithm spread this message of hope. Comment down below your reactions and testimonies about how faith has transformed your life. And don't wait even one more second to share this powerful video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Only true servants of God can understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let us be the light together.